This moment in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, nearly 4 years later, still makes no sense to me. I'm so confused. I'm talking about this moment with Brain and Luxu that leads to the same cutscene we see at the end of Key back cover, where Luxu is carrying the box across the Badlands or Keyblade Graveyard or wherever he's at. But in Union Cross, we see the same scene again, and Luxu takes off his hood to reveal that his body is Brains. So 4 years ago, heading into Union Cross's finale, we were told from the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret reports that a Union leader was going to receive the keyblade that Luxu has. But it almost seems like this isn't Brain and is more so Luxu taking over Brain's body. So Luxu using this as a vessel. This is not quite bequeathing the keyblade to someone unless this scene isn't quite what we think it is. And the reason this scene becomes so hard to understand is because if it just ended here, if this was just the last time we saw Brain or a version of Brain, everyone would probably think, oh, okay, Brain is Luxu, or well, Luxu took Brain's body and this is the first vessel that Luxu took. But we see this cutscene right after this in Scala ad Kylum, where Brain wakes up without his hat, by the way. No keyblade, no nothing. This seems like the exact Brain we saw just moments ago in Union Cross's finale, who was talking to Luxu before the scene faded to black. This is one of the most confusing sequences in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, maybe in Kingdom Hearts period. Even some of the most big brain of theorists in the community have had trouble or had to go through extreme lengths to try and crack this one. Damo, Secret Reports, HMK have made some great theories about this. Sony Novice made a freaking short film talking about this. Shout out to Sony Novice, by the way, check them out. Some of the people who are known for being like the biggest lore experts when it comes to Kingdom Hearts have had trouble cracking this. But that's what makes it so freaking fun to talk about. So let's talk about it a little bit more. Now, I do not have my detective hat on today, so we are going to be taking a little bit of a lighter approach to this, talking about some of the main talking points regarding this theory, but not fully deep diving and re-referencing like a million cutscenes that relate to this. So Luxu stealing Brain's body, is this what happened here? What makes this scene so confusing, as I stated earlier, is that Brain shows up in Scala ad Kylum literally right after like the ending of Union Cross. This is what Union Cross ends with. This is Union Cross's kind of unofficial, official secret ending. We see Brain in Missing Link and we see Luxu in Missing Link as well, which is an important point to bring up. Luxu is walking around Scala ad Kylum in Missing Link and we don't really know why he's there, but he's probably looking for another vessel, probably just watching over the timeline like usual. But is he doing this in Brain's body? Because according to the timeline, Brain should be like the last vessel Luxu had, more than likely. A lot of people seem to agree that the Brain in Scala ad Kylum, if there is a quote-unquote real Brain, this is the real one. There's a lot of people that think both Brains are just as real, and while that is definitely plausible, I feel like we have to include Luxu in this situation still. Luxu is still somewhere, so they can't both necessarily be Brain. One of them is definitely a Brain taken over by Luxu, and the other is definitely Brain himself. What makes this so confusing is how is this happening? How is Brain's body here, but also, allowed to be in Scala ad Kylum at the same time? I believe that it is possible that Luxu did use Brain's body. He did cast Brain's heart aside, but instead of just casting it aside right then and there and just letting it exist in the ethos and getting destroyed by Daybreak Town, I think Brain's heart was sent into the future by Luxu. And because this is theoretically a way further point in time than where we see Luxu at in Key back cover, Luxu is probably done using Brain as a vessel, maybe has another vessel, but the overall point is that Brain is able to manifest or reuse his body again. And a random point I always thought about, and there's no evidence for this, but we see how advanced some previous timelines are in Kingdom Hearts. Like in Union Cross and in timelines like Missing Links, it doesn't necessarily seem like characters are necessarily missing technology. It actually seems like they have similar technology, if not even more advanced technology than we might even have now. And my point with this is replicas could potentially still be around, or maybe just a different version of what a replica is could be around in this time period. And what that would mean, what that would allow, is that if Brain's heart is able to move forward in time and have a vessel, his heart would take the shape of his character. This is very similar to kind of what happened with the vessels we have in Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. Naminé, Xion, Roxas, these characters are brought back and able to like exist right now because their hearts took over replicas and their hearts kind of shaped, you know, who we knew them as before. So Roxas looks like Roxas still, the same nobody Roxas we saw in Kingdom Hearts 2 because his heart remembers what he looks like. I know that sounds like really weird and complicated, but it's like one of those things where when you see it, it makes sense. Replicas would allow for two versions of Brain's body to be around at once. The same result can happen if they somehow got to use a data Brain's body. There's honestly just a lot of layers to this, and people who aren't caught up with Kingdom Hearts lore, I'm probably speaking gibberish to you right now. Replicas, hearts, two brains, what the heck is this guy on? But this is why I love Union Cross. It's just Kingdom Hearts lore in its absolute purest form. I'm expecting this cutscene to definitely be reflected on by Brain in Missing Link, and this is one of the reasons why, despite Missing Link not having the most hype for it right now because a lot of people are just kind of waiting for the game, this is what makes the story for Missing Link super interesting and super exciting. Brain is a X factor in this story that I think is going to kind of bridge the gap between Union Cross, Missing Link, Dark Road. It's going to make everything make sense. Brain is the perfect character to be in this position, and Luxu is another layer to this, and I hope Luxu is even more involved in Missing Link than maybe he even was in Union Cross or Dark Road. I kind of do hope that Luxu has another vessel in Missing Link, because the way I view Luxu, I think it would just be really cool if one of his gimmicks was just traveling through time, and every time period he's in, he just has a different vessel and you're playing the guessing game of who's Luxu. It would just be really fun. But we do have to talk about this whole bequeathing the keyblade to another Union leader thing, because using Brain as a vessel instead of like actually bequeathing the keyblade to him kind of sounds like cheating a little bit. Like, this isn't quite what bequeathing means in my head, at least. So does Brain currently wield Luxu's keyblade right now? And is this how we're going to like get the keyblade to Master Odin and then to Xehanort? Is this where it all starts? Is this where it all begins? Imagine Brain wielding both this keyblade and Master's Defender. Like, that would be kind of insane. Like, who's stopping that? We know at the very least though that Brain is in some way, shape, or form Luxu's first vessel. Who's the vessel after Brain? We're not quite sure. Is Brain still the vessel? Is Luxu just pretending to like be oblivious and this is actually Luxu and Scarlet Kylum? We do not quite have the answers to all of these things. It's simultaneously hard to debunk a lot of theories, but at the same time, it's hard to necessarily prove what is happening. There's two Brains for sure. One of them's real, one of them's Luxu. Maybe they're both real. I have no clue. This cutscene is mad confusing. It's insanely confusing. And after 4 years, tell me if you guys in the comment section down below have any understanding of what is happening here. Maybe there's some new info on Missing Link that I'm missing. Maybe there's something we just haven't noticed all this time that brings this puzzle together. I will definitely be reading a lot of the comments because this is something that still perplexes me even now. And it will probably continue to until we finally get Missing Link. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Prodigy, and remember to be nice, be safe, and take care, everyone.